Hey everyone, Shadow9 here from Meta of Smash. Today we're going to be taking a look at Samus and Dark Samus. More specifically, their frame data and a comparison between the two characters. So, without further ado, let's get started. Starting with the ground attacks, Samus has a 2-hit jab. Hit 1 becomes active on frame 3, and hit 2 becomes active on frame 25. Moving on to tilts, forward tilt becomes active on frame 8. This move has a sweet spot at the very end of her leg. Down tilt becomes active on frame 6, and can be a decent kill option at higher percents. Up tilt becomes active on frame 15. This move can spike on stage. Moving on to smash attacks, up smash has 5 hits. The first hit becomes active on frame 12, the second hit on frame 15, the third hit on frame 19, the fourth hit on frame 23, and the fifth hit on frame 27. Forward smash becomes active on frame 10, and has a sweet spot at the end of her arm cannon. Down smash has 2 hits. The first hit in front becomes active on frame 10, and the hit in the back becomes active on frame 19. Samus's dash attack becomes active on frame 6, and becomes a good kill option at higher percents. Samus's grab becomes active on frame 15, and takes 25 frames to fully extend, being able to grab up to 4 units away. Dash grab becomes active on frame 17. Moving on to aerials, neutral air has 2 hits. The hit in front becomes active on frame 8, and the hit in the back becomes active on frame 16. Forward air has 5 hits. The first hit becomes active on frame 4, the second hit on frame 10, the third hit on frame 16, the fourth hit on frame 22, and the fifth hit on frame 28. Back air becomes active on frame 9, and can kill very early. Down air becomes active on frame 19 for the early hit, and frame 21 for the spike hit. Up air becomes active on frame 5, and remains active until frame 26. This can be a good juggling tool. Zair becomes active on frame 8. This can be a good spacing tool and can be used to get around reflectors. Moving on to specials, Neutral B becomes active on frame 16 for any charge, and it takes 125 frames to fully charge from startup. This is Samus's strongest projectile tool and can be a strong kill option. Strong Side B, or Super Missile, becomes active on frame 21, and takes 29 frames to start moving from there. Weak Side B, or Missile, becomes active on frame 19. These both can be used as strong spacing tools and good ways to get your opponent into the air. Down B's Bomb appears on frame 20, but takes 80 frames to explode. This move has many uses, including ways to shrink your hurt box, gain lateral movement in the air, or using the bomb in confirms. Up B's ground hitbox becomes active on frame 5, and takes 23 frames to travel all the way up, traveling a maximum distance of 6 units. This move in total is active for 61 frames. Moving on to get-up options, Neutral get-up takes 35 frames to fully complete. Attack get-up becomes active on frame 24, and takes 57 frames to fully complete. Roll getup travels 4.5 units in 47 frames. Moving on to defense options, Spot Dodge becomes active on frame 3, and takes 28 frames to fully complete. Foxtrot travels 3 units in 21 frames. Samus's forward roll travels 4 units in 36 frames. Samus's back roll travels 4 units in 41 frames. And finally, Samus has an air dodge drift of 18 frames. Now let's take a look at Dark Samus. Starting with a very basic difference, Samus stands a little bit shorter than Dark Samus. Now before we get into more differences, I do want to quickly mention that the moves that normally have fire properties, such as up smash or down tilt, now have an electrical property with Dark Samus. This is with the exception of side B and down B. With that out of the way, I do want to quickly talk about hurt boxes. Dark Samus's hurt boxes are generally bigger in most cases. Say, her jump or something like that, her animations are very different from Samus's. In most cases they are bigger, so you may want to take this into consideration in situations where you are, say, getting comboed or something like that. On top of that, Dark Samus's shield is actually a little bit bigger than Samus's to compensate for her bigger hurt box. Now, let's take a look at some frame differences. Dark Samus's forward roll takes 33 frames to complete, making it 3 frames faster than Samus's, while her back roll takes 39 frames to complete, making it 2 frames faster. Finally, let's take a look at some attack differences. Starting with down tilt. Dark Samus's down tilt reaches a little bit farther than Samus's. The hitbox in general is also bigger. Dark Samus's forward smash has a slightly smaller hitbox than Samus's. This means you may have a slightly harder time getting forward smash confirms. Dark Samus's up smash can catch smaller opponents slightly easier than Samus's can. Finally, let's take a look at some projectile differences. Dark Samus's charge shot and both types of side B fire at a slightly lower elevation than Samus's does. This means you may have a slightly easier time catching opponents from the air with Samus. Now after all this, you may be wondering, well, who should I pick when playing these characters? And to be honest, that's up to you. The differences between these two characters aren't really drastic enough to set one above or below the other, and they balance each other out pretty nicely. So, for example, you could say switch between the two characters to mix up your opponent in bracket with the animation differences. But really it's up to you and your preference to see which you would like to play more. Have fun with it! And that does it for Samus and Dark Samus. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, and make sure to subscribe, bell icon included, so you don't miss a thing here on Meta of Smash. And hopefully, we'll see you in the next video.